Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to continue working on the Tamiya XV-02 chassis kit. And we're getting near the end of the build. We're going to be working on steps 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. We're basically going to be building the front and rear uprights. So in terms of hardware, we need basically whatever is left from the C parts bag. So we have the bearings, and then we have the axles right here. And we also need to find the C, D, and E trees. So let's get started. We need to find C1 and C2, which are going to be these right here. This feels like a different kind of plastic. It feels harder than the parts we've been handling previously. Maybe it's just my imagination, but it's an observation. Okay, so I believe it's going to be this spacer right here. This is the blue anodized spacer. We need the ball connector. That should be it right there. And this ball connector is hex. That is that. And let's work on this right here. Okay, and we need to put a screw into that hole right there. MC1, it's going to be one of the longer screws. Okay, there we go. All right, so this is left, and this is right. And this one is left. This one is right. So set that aside. Now we're going to build the universal shafts. Let's see. We're going to be working with those axle rings again. Let's open this bag right here. So obviously we need to grab one of these. And an axle ring. And it does say note the direction of the axle ring. So I'm going to do it the way they have it. So it's going to be like that, it looks like. And I'm going to do what I did before, which is to kind of place this on there to start, so that I won't have any trouble putting this on and holding on to the pin altogether. So let me just get this in position. So basically I have the end with the bend in this hole already. And now we'll get the dog bone ready. The dog bone, this side has a hole. And we're going to slip this through, MC11 through right there. And then the pin will go through the axle down into there. So we need to line that up. So basically like this. And before we put it in there, we need to put some grease on everything. So let's do that. I'm going to put the grease into this hole. And on the outside. Just going to make sure it lines up. Yeah. Okay. And stick that in there. Also need a pin. And let me just grab some of this excess grease and use it on the pin. This is not as easy as it looks. Okay, I have the pin in there. I made sure it's flush. And now I need to pull this axle ring over and into the groove. Just a little bit more. Okay. Let me wipe this off and maybe see a little bit better. So, the pin is going to be right there. The pin went through the axle and also connected the swing shaft, and then the axle ring went into this hole, and I moved it into that groove that was on the axle right there. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like. Now let's do the other side. Pretty sure there's only one size. All right, let's do the same thing. We're going to put the axle ring on. Again, we're going to note the direction. And it looks like it's going to be like this. Like that. And I'm going to get the other end ready. All right, and I'll just borrow a little bit of grease. Looks like I got that on there. And now I'm going to see the pin. And I'm going to move this ring over and into the groove. Like that. All right. Now let's finish building the front uprights. We're going to put the bearing on, and then the kingpin, and then put on the caster block. So let's see what the order should be. Let's grab this right here first. So I think it's going to be this one right here. There is a MC7 spacer, and I think it's going to be this one right there. And the ball stud. Okay. So this is going to go into here. Okay. So that's ready. So that's the top. The bottom is going to be this screw. Okay. And then we're going to need a bearing. Into here. Like that. And so we need this to go in here first. So it's going to be this one right here. And then this screw is going to go from the bottom. Do not confuse left and right components. Yeah, I can see how easy that would be. All right, and then this side. Okay, got good range of motion here, and just let me double check I got everything correct. So I have the front uprights have the caster block in this direction. Axle, I got the 2 ball studs on top. And I think I got it right. I think this is going to be the right side right here. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. Okay. Let's do the next one. Going to do it the same way. We'll just have everything ready. So we're going to need that ball stud. Going to need that spacer. Okay, so I'll have that ready. I will have that kind of step screw looking thing ready. All right. I will have a bearing ready. There we go. Then I'm going to push the axle through. The ring here didn't seat all the way. There we go. So this will go in from this direction. And I'll do the bottom screw first. Okay, and then I will have the top. Caster block still has plenty of movement, so I think we're done with step 26. Let's move on to 27, and we're going to install them. So it's going to go right here. Let's see which one is which. This one is here. This one is over here. I need to put grease there. So normally what I like to do for attaching uprights is to do the bottom pin first, to do that first. That kind of locks it into place, and all I have to do is kind of tilt it up. So first thing is, with the arm here, I'm going to put this pin through that first hole, the outside hole. I'm going to get it so that it's almost in there, like that. You can see it. And then I will have the upright ready. And I'm going to thread into that hole right there. So I think it's going to be easier if I have this a little bit off the table here. Okay. All right. And it's going to be that hole. I still need to put grease there, so I'm just going to have this in place. So that's easy enough. So I have the pin pushed through, and now it's holding the upright. Okay. Then I'm going to put a little bit of grease onto the end of the dog bone right here. And then I'm going to push it into the drive cup right there. And now I'm going to snap this on, which is probably the hardest part for me. Phew. Okay, now we need to put a pin into the bottom arm here to lock it in place. So if I remember correctly, it's a very small screw, and it's a crosshead. It's going to be this one. So I have the screwdriver right here. So what this does is captures the pin, captures that pin so it can't fall out. And now we're going to snap this steering link in place like that. So when you're done and the servo moves, you will have steering. Very interesting geometry. Okay, let's do this side. Again, we're going to start with the pin on the lower arm. All right, so there we go. Now I'll put some grease onto the dog bone, put that in there, and I will pull this out and I will snap this. And now I'm going to put the screw into there. Again, it's a small screw and it's a crosshead, not hex. And lastly, we're going to snap on this steering. Okay, and there we go. That's it right there. And we're done with the front uprights. Very, very cool steering mechanism. Looking forward to see how that works.